Hello, hello, hello. How are
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you today, Gretchen?
you? I'm fine, I'm fine. Thank you. So let's just get into the background details a little bit so that everybody knows what exactly where we are from, etc., etc. I'll just start with myself. I am half Belgian, half Filipina, born and raised in Belgium, but I've always been too connected to the Philippines. How about you?
Well, I was born and raised in the Philippines. I had little portions of my life where I would go to North America, aka
Yeah,
the US.
yeah.
So I did that twice when I was young, very young, like 5, and then around teenage years, 18, and now I finally relocated myself in Canada.
Nice.
So I've been here
Nice.
for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my background.
Yes, nice. Thank you for sharing. What does it mean to you to be Filipino?
To me, where do I start?
Yeah, there's a lot.
um, well, being Filipino to me, I think there's always that misconception with Filipinos. I think a lot of people will assume, especially if you relocate, like myself. I
Yes.
relocated myself from the Philippines abroad, especially here in North America. Filipinos are known to be nurses.
Yes.
So when you say Filipino, they equate it to being a nurse, right?
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes sitcom comedians, why am I saying sitcom comedians? Comedians who do stand up. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Jojo
They
is
will,
an example.
yeah. It's always an example. It's
Yeah.
always a funny little joke, but I think
Yeah.
it's something that's not really offending.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what Filipinos are known to be. I think in terms also of personality, a
Mm-hmm.
Filipino is someone who they see is caring,
Yeah.
who is smiling and happy and
Yes.
friendly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, that's it. Also,
Yeah.
my background is into sports. So I'm a
Yep.
power lifter. I do
Yeah.
strongman. Um, lately, it's also been highlighted where a lot of Filipino athletes have been
Mm-hmm.
very excellent
Yep.
in their own fields of sport.
Yeah. Right.
And if you take a look at it,
Mhm.
some of them will be like part Filipino and
Yeah.
part some other
Yeah.
race, right?
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
okay, but still
Yeah.
a lot of Filipinos
Mm-hmm.
we tend to claim they're
Yes.
Filipino even if they're just half
Yes,
or
like
part
me now.
Filipino. Yeah, right? So how do you feel? How do you feel about
Oh,
that, right? No,
yeah.
I think it's just the spirit of Filipinos. We like to be very proud of
Yes.
ourselves, of our
Yes.
heritage, because it really
Yeah.
is like a very good culture. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I relocated myself mainly because I was so stressed
Mm-hmm.
out about traffic.
Yes.
Yes.
Manila. And
Yes, when you live in a big city, you kind of get tired of the hustle and
yeah,
bustle.
they're
And yeah.
excellent drivers.
Yes,
They move like with a small spot. They just move like
exactly. Exactly. It's
yeah.
anarchy over there. Nobody looks at the stop signs. Nobody cares about
Not
the
to
stoplight.
mention, not to mention the drivers dancing sometimes. The traffic, the
Yeah,
traffic enforcer dancing,
exactly.
dance moves. easily get
Yeah,
distracted, right? But it's fun. It just
exactly.
gets it just gets the stress away, and you're just distracted. And yeah, I think time
True.
just flies when
Yeah.
you have encountered that.
Yeah. Yeah. True. But yeah, like just that
Yeah,
simple example,
yeah, yeah,
in the Philippines, life is a little bit carefree despite
yeah,
the fact that a lot of people have, let's just say, lives that are
yeah,
it's a struggle
yeah,
to live day to day in the Philippines. Don't get me wrong. There
yeah,
are
yeah. I
people
know.
who have,
Hmm.
like, monetarily they're good,
Yeah.
but if you really take a look at it, the
Hmm.
stress level,
Yeah.
keeping up a job
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's in a corporate setting
Hmm.
or you're doing labor.
Yeah.
It's stressful. So yeah. But yeah, again, going back to
Hmm.
your question,
Hmm.
yeah, that's in essence what being
Yeah.
a Filipino is really. We are very flexible.
Yeah.
We adapt. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that I love about our culture. We adapt.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
scattered
Right.
all over the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I can. I
to
can.
me,
I can relate
that
to that. Yeah.
yeah.
And also the karaoke, family gatherings, picture
Correct. Yeah.
picture.
Yeah. That's also a very good thing about our culture is that we
Yeah.
always go back to family, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't yeah.
I just miss the salo salo sometimes.
Yeah.
The sharing of the
That's
meals.
yes. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and it's
Um
sometimes hard to get out of a party. You keep talking, right, with your titas, with your
yes,
friends. It's
that's
it's
true.
like bye bye, I'm going. But then, like 30 minutes later, you're still talking.
Yes. That's very very true. Very very true. When I don't know if it comes to family, it's just hard to say no, right? That's
Yeah,
also part of the culture.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So
we're not kind of allowed to speak up, right? To
yeah.
we have to respect our
Yes.
elders, our parents also. Well, but I do
Yeah.
like the mano po, our gesture, like
Yes.
sign of respect. I really try whenever I go there to vacation. I really try to not forget it.
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
do it when I arrive. But then they have me back, and then it works both ways.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's true. That's probably one of an it's another very unique Filipino
yeah,
trait where we take like the back of the hand
yeah,
of someone
yeah,
older than us, and then
yeah, yeah, right,
we tap it to our
yeah.
I cannot remember
Hmm. Hmm.
when I did that last.
Last time, whoa, so long
I
ago.
don't I don't even remember.
For
Oh my
me, in
goodness.
Belgium growing up, I didn't have to do that with my
Yeah.
parents because it would be like a little bit awkward. But I try to adapt, like I mentioned before. When I go to the Philippines, I try
Yeah.
to, make it a costume, try to
Yeah.
adapt, and
True.
usually it works. What I also love is like they are resilient. They somehow know, like you said, they
Yes.
laugh through their pain. They somehow know how to carry their pain, and I recognize
Yeah.
myself in that. I have endured a lot, but then I managed to balance out my emotions. I feel like
True.
whenever something is coming up, I allow it to come up, and then when it's out, then I'm back on track, like they say.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, and it isn't really like a facade. Something it's like a facade, but I just know how
Yeah.
to carry it very well.
Yeah.
Because I have that innate Filipino energy within me. So yeah, but it's not. I don't take it for granted, because it's like it's not easy.
Yeah, it
It's
is not.
easy. Um,
It's we can consider it a Filipino superpower.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. And another superpower is like they can be so inventive. They
Yeah.
can be so creative. Out of something, they
Yes, yes,
there's this
that's true.
expression making lemonade out of lemons, or how you call it. And
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
I
like
guess
that. It's literally
we
like
could put it that way. Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That is true because like I for the love of me I cannot remember, but if you look through if you look through a lot of Filipino history, I believe there
Yeah,
has been a lot of Filipinos involved in inventing a lot of
yeah,
things.
yeah,
And not a lot of people know about it too
yeah,
much, but there you go. It's a Filipino who invented it. So,
yeah. Yeah, and
yeah,
how do you cope with like natural disasters? It's like somebody
exactly.
I saw somebody with a video that somebody was like floating on a mattress. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, whoa, what are you enjoying yourself? Well, in the middle of something catastrophic? I was like, nice.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
inspiring, you know?
yeah, it is. I mean, for growing up in the Philippines, of
Hmm.
course, it's like you hear about disasters.
Yeah,
Sometimes you're like, are they okay? But
yeah,
they somehow they manage. Like floods with what
yeah,
happens in the Philippines, a lot of typhoon when it
mm-hmm,
starts to flood. Filipinos
mm-hmm,
already know what to do.
yeah,
If you cannot get the water out of the house, then you have to
right.
go at the top of the house. That's
Yes,
how it goes.
yes, that's,
Yeah. Yeah. And on top of that,
yeah,
what you can really look into, or what's great about the Filipinos
yeah,
is even if we have so little,
mm-hmm,
despite the
yeah,
fact that there's a lot of poor
yeah,
people still give.
yeah, yeah,
That's
right.
also a good trait.
Yes, yes.
I'm
And I
I'm
also recognize like even when I was a child, I always
yeah.
wanted to help out with my mother,
Mm-hmm.
financially, but I wasn't able until I graduated. But I
Yeah.
always had that sense within me. And I recall when I first had my student job, I my mom's twin sister was here visiting Belgium,
Yeah.
and I gave like 100 euros, that's 6,000 pesos, to my
Yeah.
granny, to my grandmother. And I
Yeah.
remember my aunt saying it put a smile on her face
Yeah.
because she knows why I gave it. She knew the meaning behind it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
She easily understood what I meant with that.
Yeah.
Uh, I always had that feeling, and I think it also comes back with utang ng loob, di ba?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Utang na loob is something that a lot of Filipinos do tend to look to when it comes to, especially to family.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes not even necessarily to family.
Mm-hmm.
We try to pay it forward.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the best way we can translate it to
Yeah.
anyone else who
Right.
doesn't know about too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's part of it. And yeah, a big
Mm-hmm.
part of our culture also
Yeah.
practices that.
Right. Right. And yeah, I lost it. I I just lost what I wanted to say because utang,
That's
yes,
okay.
yes, utang ng loob is like giving without expecting anything in return.
Yeah, that's also, you could say that. Utang na loob is, to me, like personally,
Mm-hmm.
if you if you look into it, utang na loob is basically, someone does something for you. It doesn't have to be monetary.
Yeah.
What and then what happens is you feel the urgency
Yeah.
for another situation
Right.
maybe that happens, and
Yes.
if you can help that
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like barter. A
Yeah, yeah,
barter
yeah, yeah. I
system, yeah,
understand.
kind of.
I see it the same way. It's kind of
Yeah,
nice gesture, you know. Uh, did you see the Filipino animated story, perhaps?
the one you sent me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I saw just a
yeah,
little gist of it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What did you think of it? What did it spark anything?
Well, it's yeah. it's I mean, sorry, but when it
Yeah,
comes
that's
to
okay.
like animated features, doesn't matter if it's something long or short. I
Yes.
just tend to get lost in the actual images.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Sometimes like
understand.
the
Yeah,
audio goes out and I'm like, I just look at the thing
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
how the heck did they do this?
It's
It's
like it's
a very
inventive. It's
beautiful,
creative, you
yeah,
know.
it's a very beautiful animation, and
Yeah,
yeah, I kind of got lost in the images. But yes,
yeah.
it was a very good depiction of
Hmm.
how Filipinos live, and
Yeah,
the culture itself. Like there's so
yeah,
many parts to being Filipino that,
yeah,
I'm not surprised that a lot of Filipinos go out there and create,
yeah,
you know, um
yeah,
things like that, and they share how
yeah,
Filipinos truly are.
yeah.
Because
Right.
sometimes
Yeah,
Filipinos, when someone mentions the word Filipino, Pinoy,
yeah.
or to someone who's not
Hmm.
part of the culture,
Yeah,
they
right.
tend to like have different misconceptions,
Yeah,
and
right.
you're trying your best to like
Yeah,
translate it and tell
yeah,
them. And so it's amazing that a lot of
yeah,
creators out there go out of their way and try
yeah,
to explain it better. So yeah.
yeah. And it's also amazing the ideas that I get out of the the opinions, the different
Yeah.
opinions those people are sharing. How
Yeah.
many, like you said, how many ideas you
Yeah.
can converse about. You can have conversation about. It's ongoing. There's a lot to talk about, you know. I think to me, like I was watching both animated stories in the comments, and what struck me the most is Kapwa,
Yeah.
you know, connection, and that
True.
just gave me another piece of the puzzle because I know everybody wants connection, but we
Yeah.
Filipinos want that deep connection, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And we see ourselves always in the other, and I think that's why it makes us easy. It's easy to connect with others,
Yeah.
with other Filipinos like us. You're in the States. We haven't even seen, and we just keep talking. We haven't seen each
Exactly.
other. Just keep talking.
Yeah.
It's funny.
No, but it's true. Like
Yeah.
Filipinos, we tend to see each other. We don't even need to be relatives.